Well, I'm about to head off on another road trip, and this time I'm finally getting back to Queensland. I'll be heading to some new places up there and also some old favourites, and it's great to be on the road again. This trip will be almost 6,000 kilometres, so it's a big one. Well, first stop is the big country town of Tamworth, best known for its country music festival, which is held on the January long weekend every year. If you've never been, it's actually a lot of fun. Can recommend it. What the town's not so well known for is it's got one of the state's best lookouts. So from the Oxley lookout you can see out over the town and the surrounding region, and I think this is the greenest I've ever seen it after all the rain we've had over the last few months. On the Oxley Highway heading towards the coast, you'll find the beautiful Apsley Falls, 65 metres high, and pretty spectacular. Continuing the theme of big things around Australia, this isn't the original Big Banana. As a kid I remember climbing through the original and it was way bigger, but I guess everything to do with food. Servings have gotten smaller, so that makes sense. But not a bad thing with bananas, because I think they're bloody horrible anyway. Well, this is the famous Surfers Paradise Beach. Gold Coast stretches all the way from Southport down to Tweed Heads. It's about a 40-kilometre stretch, and there's some great beaches on that strip. You've got beaches like Main Beach at the top end, and Mermaid, Miami, Currumbin, and of course Coolangatta. As kids we used to come here every year for our holidays, and it was always a great time. You've got all the theme parks, SeaWorld, Dreamworld, Movie World, and Wet n Wild. And these days now you've got great shopping centres and restaurants, and it's a really top place for a holiday. Now you can see all this seaweed on the beach at the moment. That's a result of some really rough weather they've had here in the last few days. Just the tail end of a cyclone that's at sea, and really whipping up all this seaweed. Up in the hinterland of the Gold Coast you'll find Tambourine Mountain, and here you'll find lots of arts and craft type shops and cafes, pubs and restaurants and so forth. It's a really nice place to come on Sunday. It does get pretty busy at times.
3 weights.
There's a cuckoo clock shop here. And it's got the most fantastic...
chopping, cutting. Not touching please, young lady. Thank you.
The most fantastic clocks here.
There we go. Mechanical and a battery operated. Artificial weights, light sensors, so they go to sleep at night, they won't bother you 2-3 o'clock in the morning. But the mechanicals, you definitely got to have the relationship, wind them up, and then they'll remind you what time it is, 2 o'clock in the morning.
These are fabulous. In the right house, perfect. Now I found my favourite one here. It's a South African mahogany. Would look fabulous in a little house. And only $8,000.
That's the first time I've ever seen it written.
After the cuckoo clock,
this is a really traditional clock. Everything works mechanically, no batteries. So they need the weights and the chain, and after 8 days you have to wind it up.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
amazing. What about...
This is Coolum Beach on the Sunshine Coast. Beautifully warm water. Not many people around, but the beach here is dog friendly. And he's pretty impressed. Throw it. these parachutes coming in. Like a bloody invasion. There's that many of them. This area here is called the Carlo Sandblow, part of the Kalula coast, up near the Fraser coast. And over the years, millions of years, you've got sand blown in from the coast, and slowly just envelops everything, completely takes over the landscape. Look at this idiot. Looking back inland, you can see just how vast the sand blow is, and then as we look north, you can see the coast and a beautiful beach called Rainbow Beach. And then heading south, you've got a walking track all the way down the Kalula coast that goes for 88 kilometres. That'd be quite a hike. Well, this here will give you an idea of the scale of this place. So there's some people down there on the beach. And out. How massive this area is. Well, I got the name Rainbow Beach because of all the reflections of the cliff faces. You can see there's a very earthy kind of colour, and when the sun hits it, all sorts of reflections come off, depending on the time of day. So here's the surf beach at Rainbow Beach, a really quiet holiday destination, and largely unknown. People don't talk about it much, but it's a great spot. It's the main shopping strip of Rainbow Beach. Very much a holiday feel about it. A really popular drink up here is the alcoholic ginger beer, and it's a really nice refreshing change, really suited to the hot climate up here. We're at the Kinbombi Falls, about an hour out of Gympie, and nothing to be concerned about here, and it's very safe. You can see this, we've got our safety thongs on, so there'll be no problems.
And that's you.
It will be. We're out near Mergen, and you've got the Dusty Hill Winery. Really fabulous place for a top lunch, and just to call in for a couple of drinks like we have. Really beautiful setting. It's the Dusty Hill Winery. Stay out! Plenty of friendly bird life around this little kitty. Hello! You tell him. Get out of my park, you bludgers. Yeah, I know. About halfway up the Queensland coast is Rockhampton, and nearby is the Mount Archer National Park. And from here you get this fantastic view out over the region, and there's lots of bushwalks here, and also a treetop canopy walk up in amongst the birds. So, very good place to come. And from the other direction is the city itself of Rockhampton. Very bit of glare this time of day, but this will definitely be the place to come at sunset. There's some spectacular colours here for sure. Well, just north of Rockhampton, we find the Capricorn coast. Lots of great beaches and walking tracks, and one of those is the Life Point walking track. So from the top of that you can see off in the distance now. This is Great Keppel Island. Obviously a great place to head over for a day trip from here or even longer. At Bowen is the big mango, and anyone that likes mangoes would probably know that Bowen mangoes are the best that you can get without doubt. Looking out from the coast at Bowen is the Whitsundays, and the water temperature here must be well, at least 25 degrees. It's absolutely beautiful. Great scene. Well, from the top of Castle Hill there's a fantastic lookout over Townsville. A great view of the city, which is quite sprawling these days, and also the ranges off in the distance. Had a number of fun trips up here years ago with the NRL. It was always a great fun weekend. Back then they didn't have a decent stadium. They've got this new one here that looks amazing. Around the other side of the lookout is the view of Magnetic Island. Heading off there tomorrow for a good look around. This is Horseshoe Bay, and Magnetic Island was discovered in 1770 by Captain Cook, and given that name because the granite boulders threw off its compass. You see this beautiful beach, but you don't see anyone swimming. For my overseas friends, the reason for that is we have these box jellyfish up here. If you do get stung by one, without immediate first aid, you've probably got an hour to live, so that's not great. There are a lot of bushwalks here, but too hot for that today, so I'm just going to find a pub and seafood lunch. Sounds like a day. That will definitely be ready in another room. Now it's time for another travel tips segment, and today I want to talk about activity planning. There's two different sites I like to use for local travel in Australia. I use TripAdvisor. It gives you lots of information about the top attractions in each place, and also some user reviews which are handy. As a backup in case plans fall through, a great option is your local tourist information centres. They're all over the country. And for overseas travel, where it requires even more planning, I like to use Expedia. It's a fantastic selection of options there. You just punch in your place and then your date range, and it will give you a range of options. By way of example, when I last went to London for 3 or 4 days, I was given an option of over 1,200 different activities. So great choice there. Some of my favourites include city tours, walking food tours, as well as wineries, boat trips, and concerts and shows and so forth. It's really so many options. But with everything, the more planning you do, the better, and it also guarantees the best price possible. Just remind me of this next time I'm planning a road trip through northern Queensland in January. Well and truly in the Queensland outback now, and about 110 k's south of Winton is a place called the Lark Quarry Conservation Park, and they've got a thing called the Dinosaur Stampede, so about to go and have a look at that. It's like Jurassic Park. So the story of the Dinosaur Stampede is quite incredible and surprisingly not that well known. About 95 million years ago there was a group of dinosaurs drinking around a lake, and they were couple of different types. There was a chicken-sized dinosaur and a emu-sized dinosaur, and a huge predator, this is what they believe happened, came from out of the trees. Of course, back then this area was a lot further south, so it was a climate probably more like Tasmania is today. And that caused a panic, and all these footprints are from the chickens and the emus running away in panic. And then this larger one here is the predator. And there's an area here that they haven't uncovered. That's for reason that they want to preserve that for the future, and also that back area there, because over time these prints may erode in quality. It's about 3,300 prints here, and the only reason why it's survived, and it is the only exhibit of its type in the world, the only evidence of a dinosaur stampede, is pure luck. The area got flooded shortly after the stampede, and as luck would have it, it got covered by ironstone, and ironstone is basically incredibly hard and nothing penetrates through it. So it just left this perfect field of prints, and yes, I think it's the most incredible story, and as I say, not well known, but a lot more people should be coming here. I think it's amazing. Well, now I'm at Longreach, and I've arrived at the Qantas Museum, and this is the closest I've been to a big plane for 2 years. Well, unfortunately, I arrived here at about 2 o'clock to discover that the museum actually closes at 3, and thought they might have offered a discount to come in late, but they wanted to charge $30, so it'll be another time before I come back here and have a closer look. There's one of the old planes there. Outside the Barcaldine railway station, you'll find the Tree of Knowledge. It's a ghost gum that actually died back in 2006, but it's been left here as a permanent memorial to the events that occurred here in 1892. It was under this tree that striking shearers met and agreed for the first time to form a political party to better represent their grievances, and that was the founding of the Labour Party, which went on to form in Parliament in 1901. And of course it's now run by complete imbeciles, but that's another story. Well, I'm now at Blackwall, and this is the Black Stump. In fact, it's not the original. The original burned down. And a little bit of the history and significance of what the Black Stump was. It was a site where all scientific equipment was kept when they were mapping out the state in the late 1880s. And by definition and in folklore, everything west of the Black Stump was known as beyond the Black Stump. So that was the significance of it. Might seem to be overrun by vultures at the moment. Well, I've headed further south now to Roma, and looking at TripAdvisor, the #1 attraction in Roma is the cattle sale yards. I didn't want to get caught up in all that excitement, so I've come to the #2, which is a big tree. So if you're planning to come to Roma, all I can say is make sure you book early. Oh, it's absolutely blowing a gale today. I always think a good indication of how a town is travelling and what sort of pride is in the town is how they look after their parks. So things are looking good in Dalby. We have this excellent river walk and it goes for kilometres, and along the way there's got signage of telling you the history of the town. It's really interesting. So this is my last stop on this Queensland road trip. Not sure where and when the next trip will be, but who knows, I might end up somewhere remote and difficult to get to, like the Republic of Western Australia or something like that. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video.